Hello, my name's David. I'm an environment artist, and today I thought we'd have a look at a game called Jusant by the developer and publisher dontnod. And they did Life is Strange, that series, and this is a bit of a departure for them, I thought, but I really enjoyed this game. I thought it was lovely. It kind of reminded me of another kind of similar game called Rhyme, if you've played that one. Again, recommended that one. I forget who the developer on that one was, but I'd like to make a video on that one too. But we'll see. But so this is the start of the game. I mean, actually, you kind of start out there on the plain, and you're looking up at this massive rock stack that seemingly goes up for like a mile or something. It's massive, and it used to be a kind of underwater sort of formation, and all that was under the water. So it's in some kind of fictional future where something big has happened and seas have changed, and people are left kind of wondering where to go. Do they go up and see what's at the top of the tower and hopefully find something, some water or something, or do they head down and search for different lands? And we're here and we're going up. So really strong echoes of Grow Home from Ubisoft here. In its concept, you've got to climb up, and in its execution of the climbing to some extent, where you've got to kind of use handholds and use the left trigger, right trigger sort of business. But as you see, like, we're already pretty high up, aren't we? But this is really just the base of this stack. It just keeps going up and up, and lovely art style, I think. They've kept the scope fairly minimal. Not really much texture work, if any. I mean, it's really just diffuse colour, and lighting is doing the bulk of the work, really. And it works really well, I think. I like this sort of art style. It gives it a lovely clean look, and the lighting has a great chance to do its work on the whole thing. And this game is made with Unreal 5, so Unreal is pretty good with lighting, isn't it? It does a really good job. It just really shows off the clean shapes so well. And it's our little point of interest. We can climb up. Up you go, me laddie. Like his jacket. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It reminds me of Tearaway, that game that was all kind of origami and paper. It looks like little bits of paper. So here we go. Look, we've got a first little climby bit, and some beautiful music in the background as well. Again, this is one of those games I like. It's just like, it takes you out of things and puts you in this like quite peaceful world. It's very relaxing just to spend time here, and it's meditative. Right, so RT to grip the wall, and we see this is a climbing anchor here as well. So RT, and look, we've anchored on here. So use left stick to move up, and I set the controls to easy climbing, to be quite honest. You can kind of have it where you move the left stick and use the left hand with the left trigger to grab on, and then you alternate left trigger, right trigger, finding handholds and stuff. I found it a little bit inaccurate or finicky, to be quite honest, and sometimes it just wouldn't seem to grab on properly. Oh, there we go, yeah. That's right, so. Grip the wall again. And there we are. So we've detached from that low one and attached to this higher one. So if you fall, you can always just pull back. I mean, let's just drop off a bit, shall we? Whee! See what happens. And you can move up and down. You can abseil down, which is great, isn't it? I mean, shades of Death Stranding 2, isn't it? Where you can sort of use the rope. Maybe Death Stranding 2 was influenced by this. Who knows? But, you can just go back up, and, you don't have to worry about falling generally. It's got, it's about a 40-meter length, something like that. And in the latter stages, you've got to kind of manage how far you can get on that 40 meters. So winding it in, and we're detached. So let's just wander around here. Have a look down there. And there's a boat down there. And the various detritus. That's another boat, I think, perhaps. All down there. Yeah. And, you know, we're kind of heading up, 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 and up, and up there. But our immediate goal is kind of get up to that construction there. And you see lots of, you know, detritus of sort of civilization here, isn't it? As the water levels have changed, people have been kind of moving down and down the stack. And you see these things, what used to be kind of, you know, water's edge sort of stuff. And it just carried on going down and down. So let's have a look at this. See, look, there we go. We got some little instructions. Climb up. And we're attached on. We're safe. Climbing up. What you get, laddie. And we can just detach it there. So there we go. We've got a little light there. There's little glow creatures. Must be a long-lasting bioluminescent technology going on here, because I think it's quite a while since people were here. And we got lots of ledge grabbies. Let's get up there. Detach. And there we go. Like so, you can see the handholds here. And we've got to sort of make our way over there and upwards. Okay, so we'll make our way over here. So you've got to kind of move the left stick in a general direction. These place a piton. So if we fall, let's keep it attached. So if I just, you know, let's just fall down there. There we go. Hey, you can do some pretty fun stuff. Run along the walls with the rope. There's some puzzles based around that. It's pretty cool. And you can go down a surprising way and explore little nooks and crannies and stuff. But let's go back up there and get to that next section. But it means you can just have a little rest on those sort of longer stretches where you're kind of perilously exposed on rock faces and stuff. So, and I can press down there and have a little rest, recharge stamina meter. So, you know, there's a little bit of sort of stamina kind of management while you're climbing. All right, where should we go down there? Jump that way. There we go. And looky here. Place another piton. Maybe have a little rest. And now we need to sort of jump that bit there and climb up this rather convenient webbing. And yeah, it's tutorializing us with a bit of rest and onto some more solid ground. And our rope is still out there. You know, we're reasonably sort of safe there. We've got 2 pitons put in and to safety and reel it all back in. And already we've ascended quite a way, haven't we? And old bits of maritime detritus here, aren't they? Like kind of, they look like sort of lobster nets and crab cages, anchors, and just listen to the ambient audio. You know, the wind blowing, and that sort of tinkly little music. You know, it's quite a sort of lonely vibe to it. Again, it's quite post-apocalyptic, really, and but there's a sort of melancholy running through it. We're just, you know, following along behind where people have left, really. So there was another little route outside, but then there's another little bit here. So we'll carry on. There we go. Anchor ourselves on, and this looks fairly straightforward up here. It's fairly clear about where you can go with these handholds. It's very much like a climbing wall, if you've ever been on a climbing wall. You know, if you've been on them, then you know what you're looking for, really. And we've got some little diaries and stuff. There's kind of notes left throughout the world. You know. Yeah. stories about the survivors and you know, what they're doing, what's going on in their world, and tells you a bit about the wider world as well. And check out down there. Yeah. It's a really good concept, I think. You know, basically you just cling into a wall and you've got to, you know, head up, up, up. And I really like that. So let's anchor on there and see where we need to get to, really. And it looks like we need to get over there, doesn't it? So really what we can do is just drop off, really. And this is one of those instances where, you know, the camera pans back very helpfully. We get to sort of do a wall run, which is really fun, I think, if you can get it on the wall like that. Come on, laddie, let's get a run up. Hey, there we go. Did I get it? Ah, I missed it. Come on, grab on. Got it. That's my thing, innit? Fail first time, get it right the second. I think failure is underrated. You learn a lot from failure, more than success, I think. So there we go. We got up onto this rather nice little ledge, got a nice view there. Slowly progressing up, and again, you know, little elements of people's lives here, aren't there? Little tables and woodworking stuff, or well, maybe stonework actually. Yeah, they've been working at stuff here, haven't they? And what's this? Got a little shell. Yes. And there we are. We just hear a little bit of a memory from the past. The ambient sounds that might have been going on there. It kind of does a little vignette of little areas like this. And the sound of stoneworking tools, and yeah, it's like an echo of the life that was there before. Obviously a stone carver, and there's a lot of these stone carvings that you can sort of check out as you play through the game. So there we go, that'll do for that bit. It'll sort of loop around, and there it goes, the memories gone into the wind. Lovely. And it looks like, you know, they had plans for this wall, doesn't it, that was never realised. You get. A little anchor spot there. And then you get these other little interior zones here with little things and notes left around where people can, you know, have a chat with each other, and they would be like sending messages, and you know, we're just sort of picking up the threads that got abandoned. Yeah. Right, so what we want is, well, over there, isn't it? You can see the handholds, so let's jump off. And let's lower down. And we've got a bit of a visual marker here, haven't we? So let's lower ourselves down. Anchor on there. There we go. Could have done that more elegantly, couldn't I? But never mind. There we go. So up this nice little corner. There's lots of pitons already in the rock there, aren't there? But we're okay, we don't need to put any more. And here we go in here. Ooh. Like little fungal spores maybe. Bobbing around. Nice little bits of life to the world. And then we've got all this sort of interior stuff. And you can see that overhang where you can climb up there. It's a really interesting route through, in and around this kind of landscape. So maybe we'll just skip ahead a little bit. reach the top of that sort of pillar we looked at earlier, and he's activating something, some sort of sound device. And we have this weird little creature with us, which we don't really kind of understand what the hell it is until nearly the end of the game, really. But it does have some bearing on the sort of ecosystem. There we go, with little creature's help. Thanks, buddy. There we go, and the way forward is opened. Some sort of interesting technology going on. It's like a little frog, isn't it? Lovely, isn't it? Check that out. And so you can climb on these sort of vines. It provides another way to access areas and opens up new bits and stuff. Ooh, zip wire there. So, and up we go. And check that out there. So there's a real nice sense of sort of vertigo when you stand on the edges here, and you get this sort of bigger and bigger view, and you get a more of a look ahead all the way up there, up. And oh wow, yeah, we've got to do the zip wire. Down we go, and so access the next area. Isn't that lovely there? All of that. Nice. Yeah, so you can do that, and that kind of, you know, helps you on your way with a bit of a signpost, really. So let's just have another little jump ahead. Here we are, a bit higher up. Nice shot to give you a bit of scale. And there we go. Kind of. It's always fairly easy to know where to go, really. I mean, up, and you know, you just have a little search around and you'll find a path. It's very navigation friendly, and it's a little lovely. I love this red rock. So this is a kind of, you know, another biome. And if you just look over there, you can see what a big old boats, big ships over there. Look like container ships, don't they? There's one over there as well, and it goes on and off into the distance. And you know, a lot of the notes that you find around the place are, you know, the inhabitants of this place wondering, you know, is there anything else out there, really? Is there anything left? So, yeah, you know, I mean, do we go up or down? We're going up. And you can see all the sort of origins of this landscape being underwater, you know, these big shells and this sort of corally outcrops and stuff. It's all over the place. It's a really interesting mix. And kind of aquatic shapes. And overground formations. Yeah. So let's have a zip wire. Cool. Love a zip wire. There we go. All over there. And some birdies. Hello. So, you know, among all this sort of desolation and loneliness, there's still wildlife, there's still animals, which, you know, it just adds a bit of life to the world. And you know, look, just the art direction is really, really nice. I think, you know, it leads you around. I mean, that's a lovely picture, that, isn't it? And that rock is glowing, isn't it? The shadows are just lovely, like warm shadows. Yeah, I really like the lighting in this game. And it takes you up and up and across and over and ever upward. So I think I'll leave it there. Just a little quick glimpse into this game, really. I think, again, another one of those games that I don't really think got the recognition that they deserve, really. I thought it was a really, really nice game. Fun, enjoyable, peaceful, relaxing. It looks great, and the mechanics of it work really well. So, yeah, highly recommended. So, I'll leave it there. Just spotted his trousers, actually, just before we go. Rather interesting, lumpy, bumpy trousers, aren't they? Look at that. Yeah, cool. I've forgotten about those. Anyway, yeah, so I'll leave it there. Standing here with our little blue buddy. So thanks for joining me on that, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.